Zombie films have been a subgenre of horror films since the early ages of classic Hollywood. The first feature-length zombie film was the 1932 White Zombie, which had zombies based on African folklore where an individual would be put under a voodoo curse and made the puppet of another person. This didn't have to be used on corpses alone, it could also be used on individuals in a catatonic state. In the following years, zombie films had similar themes of voodoo spells causing the dead to rise under the manipulation of others. In 1968, with the abolishment of the Hays Code and the implication of the MPAA, George A. Romero changed the zombie subgenre of horror as well as the American film as a whole. Night of the Living Dead reinvented the idea of a zombie to the most common one seen as the slow, flesh-eating corpses that have only the most primal of urges to eat. Once these zombies kill you, you get up and kill. This became the standard after the popularity of Night of the Living Dead and the popularity of Romero's Of the Dead series to follow. Now, don't confuse the Of the Dead franchise with the return of the Living Dead franchise, started in 1986, written by John Russo, who also wrote Night of the Living Dead. This series created the most commonly parodied zombie form, the brain-hungry zombies. Not only are these zombies different because they only eat brains, but they're also different because they are very vocal about their hunger. These zombies have a bad habit of completely pissing me off, because if they don't have a brain to be reanimated, then how do they come back with any sort of motor skills like the other zombies do? I know zombies are a stretch, but there's gotta be at least a little bit of science made up for this. Also, remember not to confuse any old movie ending in Of the Dead or Of the Living Dead with these franchises, because the number of zombie movies ending in that is absolutely absurd. As everything in films has, zombies have gotten much faster over the years. Now, with more recent films like 28 Days Later, Resident Evil, and Wreck, zombies have evolved from the stumbling corpses to the sprinting infected. The thing that made zombies great was the fact that they were imperfect. They were slow and stupid, but traveled in hordes. You could survive for a good amount of time, but eventually they'd find and kill you. Now zombies are even moving too quickly for a director to properly build tension with them. Whether it's an infection, a voodoo curse, or an unexplained phenomenon, zombie subgenre of horror is one of the strongest by far. Not that it's the best, but it's survived since the original days of cinema, and it's still going strong.